good, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Tech Sales Heroes, the podcast where we help you unlock the hero inside you, get into tech sales, teach you everything you need to know. Welcome back to another episode. Tia, I appreciate you joining. Today we're going to be talking about what is tech sales. So we're going to be breaking down everything that the job is, how to get into it, and everything in between. So, Tia, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, of course, always, always.
This segment is going to be called What is Tech Sales Really? Right? And basically, we want to talk about because there's still a lot of people, believe it or not, that don't even know what tech sales is. I know for me, when I first learned about it, I was kind of like, what? Like, that's a thing? And I know, there's still a huge audience and a huge amount of people like they're hearing these buzzwords, but they really don't know for real like what it is. So, I wanted to kind of just start with that and start unpacking like what is it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's the reason I want to do this video because a lot of people is reaching out to me and I'm talking to them about tech sales. And I was like, damn, we don't got a video just breaking down what is tech sales. So I'll start from the top. In terms of what is tech sales is what it sounds like. You're selling tech, but you're selling software. So it's software sales. So if I had to explain it in two words, I would just say that it's software sales, meaning that you are calling and emailing people so that you can sell a software. So the entry level positions, you got SDR, BDR, inside sales representative, sales executive, lead development representative, account development representative. All these sales positions, the entry level, you're going to be booking meetings. So you're like a hunter. So a SDR, BDR role is what you call a hunter, meaning you calling people, you cold calling them, emailing them, LinkedIn, multi-channel approaches in order to get them to sit for a meeting so that the account executive can close them. So you are mastering the skill of building relationships, initiating, you like that bridge of the relationship, that initial point of contact.
Exactly that. And thank you for breaking that down. Um, as he said, like it's selling software. Just to get a little bit more fine-tuned as to what that is, you may see this term, especially on LinkedIn. A lot of y'all are seeing SaaS in people's bio, and you're probably thinking, like, what is SaaS? That's exactly what it is software as a service. So that's what that means. And it could be anything, honestly, like even project management software, marketing platform like Yelp, like the one that I'm with. It could be anything in cybersecurity, things that help businesses operate better is going to be considered that, right? And as you mentioned, also like the common jobs in tech sales, honestly, even being an inside sales rep is going to be considered tech sales if it is for a tech company. Do not get discouraged if you don't get that BDR or that SDR off the back. And all that stands for is sales development rep and business development rep, right? So you can get an inside sales role before you even pop off and get your SDR, BDR, account executive role. Like, don't let that discourage you. And I know Zuri probably want to chime in on that.
Yeah, you so generally and the same skills that you use or that you develop in tech sales is the same skills that you need in business. So, for example, I help people get into tech sales, and those same skills that I developed, that's how I started my business. I wasn't trying to start a business. I was just trying to reach out to people, help them out the kindness of my heart for fun. Like I want to see people succeed. Then it got to a point where I was like, okay, I got so many success stories and I'm trying to help everybody for free. I'm spread out a little too thin. Let me create something where I could provide the resources, the time to be able to put people in a position that's really hungry and want it. So that's the number one thing you need to get into tech sales is you gotta have that hunger, persistence, grit. You gotta have a special quality that I call you gotta have that dog in you. So Like she said, B2B SaaS, business to business, software as a service. You also got business to consumer. The best way to get into tech sales, if you got any type of relevant experience, so any type of sales experience, that's going to go a long way for you. But really, just knowing the structure and the game plan of how to approach it is the best way to go about it.
Absolutely. And I like
Oh,
that
and
you
I'm
touched
sorry, I'm sorry.
on,
I
oh, go
just
ahead.
remembered the question you asked. When it comes to, so yeah, you can go straight to AE into like more of a
Mm-hmm.
closing role, but being
Mm-hmm.
an SDR, BDR, that's kind of building the fundamentals, that's doing the hard part of,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you're gonna be cold calling all day, facing a ton of rejection, you're gonna get a lot of no's. So it's a great experience in terms of mastering emotional intelligence and just overall sales ability.
Yes, and that's what I was getting ready to say, because you talked a little bit about you not trying to start a business, but being that you already are doing this on a day to day, it kind of comes with the territory, right? Like you developing these skills on a day to day. And that's something that I want to talk about, because I kind of did it backwards. Like I just made some posts about being a serial entrepreneur, which means I've had several different businesses and already have those skills and qualities. So that's another thing. Like, if you're just now wanting to get into tech sales, if you have a background where you've been an entrepreneur, or you're just the type of person that is naturally a go-getter, or you naturally have this ability where you notice, like, people always notice that you have something going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just that type of person. Um, this is for you, absolutely, because you already have the skills and qualities that it takes to master, in tech sales, like, with your business. And I am one of those testimonials. Azuri did help me to land my first role, and I was super grateful. And because of that, that's why we kind of do this, together now, because it really was at like a pivotal moment for me in my life where I really needed to get this role. I really needed to get my break in. And so I went ahead and took the advice and followed the recommendations. And I actually was able to land my first role within 2 weeks after our first conversation, which is, I think, is really fantastic what you're doing. And, I really admire that you're doing that.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I like that you said like, oh, if you always got something going for you, like if you're real hungry, I definitely feel like if you trying to still see if tech sales is for you or not, the best advice I could give you is if you that type of person, like you really got that dog in you, you hungry, you just ready to make something happen, and you don't know where to focus your energy. You want a career path that's gonna have an upward trajectory, it's gonna have a ton of upside, it's gonna be enjoyable, and you can come in and just work your ass off and get a, excuse my French, work hard and get a ton of money and progression within your career. This is gonna be the career path for you because this is something that you're gonna be rewarded for your hard work, and the inputs is always gonna lead to the outputs. So if you are thinking about getting into tech sales, my best advice would be number one, to get a mentor. And number two, no, actually, I'll say number two, get a mentor. Number one, you got to believe in yourself. So it all starts with the belief. Once you believe in yourself, you start educating yourself, read the right books, then you know you can do anything. What you don't want to do is kind of feel limited. So, oh, I don't got the experience, I don't got the education, I don't got this and that. Anything that you need, you can create in terms of the education. Is boot camps out here, course careers, rework, higher levels, intertech if you in Europe, and rework BDR rework training. That one is free, so that's serving as your education. And then in terms of getting experience, it's a ton of freelance jobs. In the link below, I'm gonna have my Glen Coco sign up link as well as another Vending Village freelance role that y'all can sign up for and hit the ground running, get some experience under your belt. And once you got that experience, especially once you get 3 to 6 months, you're gonna be objectively strong candidate for any one of these roles.
Absolutely. I agree with that 1000%. There is a lot of free resources now, especially like when I first did it, I'm not sure that those were available like as much as they are now. But I think that especially in our community, because of the dynamic, like people have made so much noise about it and it's helped so much, right? So you do have rework and you do have like a lot of stuff that you can really just Google, or use Chat GPT and kind of get yourself up to speed. But yeah, I mean, definitely take some type of boot camp first, just so that you have a direction. You know what I mean? And then after that, I recommend once you kind of get a hang of what you're doing, or even if you take it first and you're in the middle of it, you could still get the mentor then, because if you already have the background, the skill, and the ability, all you really need is just somebody to point you in the right direction and kind of walk you through those steps.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And the best advice I could give you, also the story of how it went for me. I was looking into tech sales. I actually had just got my degree, so I got my IT degree, and I thought that that was going to amount to some jobs or some money, and it absolutely did not initially. Now that I put in the work, you can say it did, but really, we don't know if that would have happened with or without the degree. But long story short, I had got my degree, and I remember I was studying. It was my 21st birthday, and I had like it was like a 4 page essay or a 10 page essay, and I'm working on it, and I'm just typing up. And my auntie's like, she see me in the room. It's my birthday. I'm doing homework. She's like, all right now, make sure you don't isolate yourself too much. And I really thought about it. Really hit myself. I'm like, dang, I am isolating myself just so I can get a career that's gonna isolate myself even more. Like I'm gonna be staring at the screen all day. So that's when I learned that I wanted to deal with people and I wanted to do something that was more relationship focused and not so technical, staring at the screen all day. So that's when I found out about tech sales. I was actually like a Uber driver. I was doing shuttles. So I'm driving people back to the dealership, to their house, back and forth, and I'm picking people's brains. And I'm telling them like, okay, this is what I like. These are my skills. These are my passions. I got this degree. What should I do? And they're telling me like, okay, you like talking to people, dealing with people. You need to get into the sales and services side of things. So I'm like, okay, sales and services side of things. So I didn't even know it, it was called tech sales. I didn't know any of the SDR, BDR. I didn't know any of that. All I knew was sales and services side of tech. And it seemed like a super far out dream to the point where I didn't even think about how to approach the goal. I just thought like, okay, I know I got my degree or I'm pursuing my degree at this point. One day I want to get into the sales and services side of tech. So it took me 2 years when I first heard about it to when I actually got in. But the crazy part is it only took me a week from when I started course career. So I wanted to do course careers. If you watching this video, you probably on the same path that I was on, where you're watching videos, you start tapping into LinkedIn, Tech is the New Black, all the different tech sales podcasts, and then you gonna want to do a boot camp. So I was hesitant to do that boot camp. I was like, man, first I didn't know if there was paid testimonials. I didn't know if they was real. I was like, oh, like I'm on the fence. Then I started seeing someone, people started crying and everything else. I'm like, okay, I see it's obviously real. Let me make that investment. But before I made that investment, I was still on the edge. I had got scammed for crypto. So I ended up losing $500. And that was like a sign from God, like, okay, this money don't really mean nothing. Like you're not gonna keep this same money in your bank in a month from now anyway. So you might as well invest it into something that's gonna change your life forever. So that's what I did. And I did course careers. And then a week later, I landed the role. A month later, I started helping everybody else land the role. Now we got all different type of testimonial success stories. And then the rest was history.
Yes, I love that story. I didn't know you were researching about 2 years before.
I ain't
I
gonna say
never
I
knew
was
that.
researching. Yeah, I wasn't researching, but I wanted to get into it and didn't get
Yeah.
into it until 2 years later.
It's crazy because like I said, there's still people who don't really know what tech sales is. And it's like every time I talk to somebody about their story, they're like, yeah, I never knew what tech sales was until like I heard it. Like the way I heard it was I happened to be scrolling and I came across the table with AO, his podcast. And it was this girl, she was like a dog walker, and she was saying like how she broke into tech and she was like making six figures. And I was like, what? That's just wild to me. Like how you go from that to like, so that's kind of what made up my mind. I purchased the course like the next day. And then I did course careers as well. What I really, I mean, I know there's other boot camps, but just to stick a pin in that, what I really like about course careers is I like the community involved in it. Like people are super approachable, especially on LinkedIn. Like if they went to course careers, like you can always hit them up and be like, "Hey, I went to course careers, like give me some advice." Like that really helped me out in the beginning. Everybody's like super down to earth and friendly. That's one thing I really liked about course careers though. Side note.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it was
Yeah.
people that I reached out to, and I was just like, I just started a course career. Can you point me in the right direction? And they definitely did. And that's part of the reason I started the mentorship is because, like you said, the community was so helpful. And not everybody. You might get 70 people ignore you, but them 30% that do respond to you, they gonna really pour into you, try to help you if you reach out to the right people. So I had a
Yeah.
few people that specifically just helped me so much for free to where I spread the blessings to everybody else, and then they're coming back to where I just really put so much time into the mentorship to teach you everything start to finish to make sure that anybody that really want it and ready to put in the work can make it happen.
So how many people, okay, let me just say this real quick. Excuse me. When y'all come in my inbox, I will point you in the right direction. Like I will definitely point you in the right direction. I'm gonna give you all the advice I have, but really Azuri is gonna be like the actual coach. Like if you need like coaching, and that's why I always just like recommend like, okay, go to this person because I mean you're not going to really get what you need just going in somebody's inbox and then them just being like, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, y'all can come up in my inbox and ask me questions. I'm more than happy to help you. But at the end of the day, I'm going to point you along to where you're actually like going to get the most help that you need. How many people have you helped so far? Like, do you keep track of like how many people you've helped and have jobs now?
That's crazy you asked that. I was about to like count it out. I would say close to 50 because it's people that I do
Yeah.
free tiers with
Mm-hmm.
and they'll like land a job in 2 weeks, a month. So that's another thing too. If the finances are what's stopping you, I also have free tiers where I'm compiling different things from the real mentorship, and I'm gonna still provide that value and insight for you in hopes that you will take it serious and apply it and still land the role. So those free tiers are success stories as well, because I teach them everything and give them some interview tips, what to say in the interview, some feedback, mock interview, the resources, tools, and then they land the role. So I would say around 50.
That's good. I mean, that's really good. That's really, really good.
And the best
To
part is
be
too is
able to
when you
say
start
that.
right and you start building more and more relationships. So for
Yeah.
example, like I had a mentee named Ann who landed a role at Gardner, and then you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to interview at Gardner, and I connected y'all.
Yep.
And it's I got
Yep.
so
And she
many
used to say,
mentees and
okay,
success
and hey
stories and
girl.
relationships, as well as
Mm-hmm.
multiple relationships with founders for freelance roles. So how they say your net worth is your net worth, that's definitely
Yes.
a
And
fact.
there's yeah, and not to cut you off, but like there's even people that were in your network that you wanted to me to refer to a role that was open at my company
Right,
as well.
exactly.
So it's just like it always goes. And again, like people are super friendly. Like, yeah, of course. Like send them through. I got you. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those types of situations. Like once you network.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And it's one of them things where, like you said, you was my referral for Yelp, and then we got a lot of different referrals for everywhere else. So that's extremely helpful as well, being able to know that you got those connections to land the role.
Exactly. Now, what I kind of want to touch on something different now. What do you feel are some misconceptions about tech sales? Because people really, I think when they hear that, they get scared by the tech part and they really feel like you need to know coding or like be super technical. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
what do you feel like are some, I mean, I know, but I want to hear your perspective on that.
That's a great question because I feel like tech sales is kind of gate kept in the sense that the people that know about it. They ain't just, oh, I'm finna take you under my wing and just letting anybody into it. And it's kind of seeming like even when people think about they might have been the BDR top performer for a year or two, and they think about account executive, and it just seems like it's so hard and so impossible. When realistically, you're doing exactly what we do, and you're in front of a screen, you're talking to people, you're doing basic skills. So communication, organization, building relationships, these basic skills that you probably have, and I'm speaking to you as far as the audience, everybody probably got in their everyday jobs and these transferable skills, they will align to tech sales. So there's nothing in tech sales that's just so extraordinary that you can't do. Anybody, well, nah, I take that back. Anybody can't do this. I ain't even gonna get your hopes up. Anybody can't do it. You gotta have that dog in you because I done seen it plenty
Yeah.
times. People will pay me for mentorship or they'll try to get into tech sales and they kind of got that give up and that quit in them. If that's you, don't even try to get into this. It's not for you. But if you
Yeah,
got
it's
that
not
dog
gonna
in you,
fit.
you ready to just go hard, go hard, go hard every day and enjoy the fruits of your labor for doing that and actually have a job that got freedom and an upside, a huge upside, then it's definitely for you.
And I feel like it's one of the most like flexible, like high paying type role. Then y'all also you don't need a degree. And why I say flexible is because I know a lot of people are still in the mode where like they have to go back to like they're making people come back into the office. Right. So you got a lot of these roles where you have to go back into the office, but you still low key have a lot of hybrid and remote roles. Like when I first came in, there was a lot more remote roles. I noticed they're like, let's go back into the office for whatever reason. We don't know what that is, but there's still a lot of hybrid. That's what I mean when I say flexible. There's like a lot of hybrid. So maybe you might be at work like 3 days a week or 2 days a week, and then the rest you work from home, or you might just be fully remote. And then by fully remote, that means you could take your laptop anywhere. Like you could be in Miami in a hotel. I mean, that's how it was. Like that's how remote mine is. Like I could literally take my laptop back home and be in Jersey, which I did visiting my family, and then come back home. Like you can move like that. It's very flexible, especially if you have kids.
Yeah, and that's one of the best upsides. So let's talk about that as far as the pros and cons. So the pros definitely be the freedom, the remote work culture, the money, the flexibility, the skills that you build, the benefits. It's a lot of upsides. The
It really
downsides,
is.
and you learn the ability to self-source interviews, perform in interviews, like no matter what job you're trying to get, those are going to be extremely fundamental. So you building so much skills, emotional intelligence, you doing something that you like, you're gonna be able to start your own business and self-source your own leads. Like I can go forever as far as the pros. In terms of the cons, if you come in here and you just let's say you start for 2 weeks searching for a job and somebody just give you a handout and say, come on, come work for me, and you take it for granted and you start slacking and have working, you're gonna get laid off. And if you don't got the mental fortitude and that dog in you to overcome that and boom, hit the ground running, get the cold calling and DMing to get a new job, then you're gonna be in a position where you're ready to pivot and quit. Or another downfall or another con is if you don't choose the right company, then you're gonna be fighting an uphill battle. And the number one thing about a company, you need a product market fit, first of all, which means does this product have a fit in the market? Is there a necessity for this product? Is it a product that sells a lot? Are they hitting their numbers? Like all that. How good is the product? That's the number one thing, product market fit. After that, it's about the culture and the career progression. So are these leaders that want to see me succeed? Do they have my best interest at heart? Do I have a career progression path in place at this company? Can I grow here? So let's talk about the growth. You start off as a BDR, SDR, then you can go account executive, account manager, or sales engineer. You can go customer success. You can go SDR manager, and then director of business development, VP of sales, CEO. So it's a the opposite of a dead end career in the sense that you got all different type of trajectory. So you don't gotta, let's say I know somebody that started off as an SDR, killed it, got to an SDR manager, and then turned into a recruiter. You can do whatever you want with tech sales once you get into it, but you gonna have to go through that, meaning go up through the SDR from the bottom up. You can't just get into tech sales and be in customer success or something, or be go directly to a sales engineer. Now it's
Yeah.
possible, but you're not building those fundamental skills, and they probably not gonna hire you because they got people that actually got the experience already. So you want to unlock the experience by starting from the bottom, what they call the trenches.
Exactly. And then you also have like the a conversation that you and I had about an ethical sell versus a non-ethical sell. You got that too, where, certain companies will push you to sell something where the majority of their client base just doesn't believe in the product or don't want the product. you know, I gotta keep
Yeah,
it 100. And that's
yeah.
going to really that like initially if you come in there and you have like that fire and you're really really good at what you do, eventually you're gonna get burnt out. So it's very important to research the company. Like, people are not gonna lie. Like, don't feel like if you read some negative reviews of whatever, and I was guilty of that all the time. Like, I'll be like, well, maybe that was just their experience, I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. But no, like, run. Like, if these people are saying it's about this specific company, no, 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 don't do it, because it is going to affect your mental. And then also work culture. You need to make sure that this culture is going to fit your personality. There's just so much we can go on in terms of like picking the right fit with the company. But I kind of don't want to get like off the main topic. Why do you, I want to ask this question. Why do you feel like now is a good time to get into tech sales?
Now is a good time to get into tech sales because I would say it's a good time because of how AI is and everything. Like you got jobs like let's say if you at Walmart, you an assembly worker, or Amazon, you folding boxes and you doing basic warehouse work. That can easily get replaced with AI. You can't replace this SDR because people hate AI on the phone. Like I don't know about y'all, but when I get an AI that calls me, I strongly dislike it. I don't want to talk to the AI. So you're gonna always need that human connection in sales, and that's why it's one of the rules that AI can't replace. So that's why they saying like this is the year where you rather get rid of or get left because AI coming whether you want it or not.
Hmm.
So if you in a sales position that is all about relationships, and now that's not to say that they're not trying to come out with AI SDRs because they 100% are, but
Oh
it'll
yeah,
never
they
take
they
over
will come up
because
with, yeah.
who want to talk to an AI all day?
Nobody, not me.
Oh, and how you was talking about studying the companies, you definitely was on point with that one. So best is going to be Glassdoor and I want to say RepView, but you also got Capterra, Built-in, G2, ChatGPT, LinkedIn, Google Search, um, YouTube. So you got a whole bunch of different ways that you can study this company. So make sure you do your due diligence, and you
Absolutely.
want to know what's the OTE, what percentage is hitting that OTE, what's the quota, what percentage is hitting that quota. It's a ton of different questions. If you're looking for mentorship or for the right questions to ask to study these companies, or if you just want to talk, any help, book a call. We're gonna have the link in the bio or in the
Yes,
description.
absolutely. No, that's very important because like I said, I'm guilty of that. If you're like guilty of that as well, always giving the benefit of the doubt, you don't want to believe nothing negative about nobody and no companies, and you just have like a positive outlook. Like, listen, they're giving the
Positive
receipts,
outlook.
the receipts are there. People
Oh.
took the time to type it up for a reason. Like, no, tell me all the tea. I'm here for it. I want to know now. Um, but so you did touch on the money part. I think entry level also, like, some people have a misconception about that when people say you can get in starting from 60 to 80K. I think that's going to be including the base plus your commission that's expected. It's not 60 to 80 base. Let's just get that clear. When you first start out and your entry level, you're going to get base plus commission, and your entry level role usually starts between 60 to 80K. That's plus your OTE, okay, which is on target earning. So this will be part of like your KPIs and, like what you need to achieve while you're at the company, but you should be making this amount when you first start.
Yeah, and be careful with that. You always go off the base, don't go off the OTE, because unless you have a system in place, meaning you got multiple BDRs that's consistently hitting this OTE, that number can just be
Mm,
completely made up out of the blue. So unless you got people that's consistently hitting that OTE, like for me, I'm a founding SDR, meaning I'm the very first outbound SDR. So the inbounds was hitting their numbers, but that's completely irrelevant for outbound. It don't got nothing to do with each other. So I
yes.
came basically on a whim, like, okay, I don't know, like I'm finna just get into this role, give it all I got. I'm gonna be comfortable with
Mm,
this base, and then I'm gonna make this OTE. I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna hit this goal. Whether that's mentorship, we got to get different tools, whatever I got to do. I'm the pioneer. I got to make it happen.
exactly, exactly. And I feel like you really can make six figures. Like in this role, I've seen it. I've seen people, there was somebody who was making 50K a month. Okay, 50K a month. Like you really can make a lot of money. You have to be a student of the game though. You got to be a student of the game. And that's where that hustle mentality comes in. If you're a natural hustler, you're always going to be seeking new information. You're always going to be wanting to know more about your craft, right? And building on it because this is your bread and butter at the end of the day. But you can, like, you really can make a lot of money. People make often, like, it's easy for people to make 100 to 150K doing tech sales. Like, I'm just want to put that out there. Um,
Yeah, I know somebody that started, and then you got a ramp period, meaning they're gonna give you extra money within this beginning period because you just started.
mhm.
She had like a $17,000 commission check, like
Sheesh.
within her first month or two starting. And I know her personally, so I
Sheesh.
know that's a real story.
Oh wow, yeah. No, the money is here. If that's your motivation, the money is definitely here. How tech sales compares to other jobs like retail or gig work or even having your own business. I feel like I mean, the part where you're like in the office. So this is an office job. Like you're gonna have to dress. If you work from home, you can be casual, like what I'm wearing or what Zuri's wearing. You can be casual. But for the most part, you have to show up. Your demeanor has to be professional. You're not going to come into any company and, treat it like a retail or whatever. Like this is actually a high level role. And you have to have that mentality. I just quickly want to touch on like if you're not around anybody who is positive on a regular basis or has a type of high level mentality, it's your responsibility to put yourself in those circles. It's your responsibility to connect with people. That's why LinkedIn is so important. YouTube, go on YouTube, listen to motivational speakers, listen to great, audiobooks. If you don't have it to sign up for Audible and get the Audible, go on YouTube, listen to positive thinking, books about selling, spin selling, and you know, I know Zuri also has like a list of some really great books that you can listen to, but it's your responsibility to change that narrative and take yourself out of where you are and transition into the success that you want.
Yeah, a list of great books. Sell or Be Sold, 10X Rule, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Spin Selling, Fanatical Prospecting, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Psychology of Money, Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, Essentialism, Atomic Habits. This is the number one though. I start off with The Alchemist, and then I would go Sell or Be
Hmm.
Sold, and then I would go How to Win Friends and Influence People. The secrets of question-based selling, millionaire fastlane, exactly what to say, never split the difference, and then be obsessed or be average.
Absolutely. I can't remember all those books off the top of my head, but I knew you would.
I remember. I just put it up, but we gonna go with
Oh, you put
that.
it up. You had the cheat codes. No, I'm here for it. But yeah, I mean, again, because, and the reason why I say that is because I come from a place where, like, I understand that dynamic. I understand coming from an environment or a place where you don't have access to this. Like, there's no, there's no positive influence around you. You may want to break into tech. You may not have the money. You may not have anybody around you who is positive. So I just want to encourage to put yourself, make it your own responsibility and your goal to put yourself in the environments through LinkedIn networking, connecting with people like Azuri, myself, other positive people, reading books, listening to motivation. I listen to Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher, a lot of different people, Jordan Peterson. Reframe your mentality. Like, that's going to make a big difference even when you get into tech sales or any high level role. um and it's super super important. You got to make that shift.
Absolutely. And as far as the everyday role, you're going to be doing a lot of cold calling and cold emailing. So that's the bread and butter is cold calling. So you want to master the phone. So in order to get the job, you want to do the job to get the job. So you want to do high volume of cold calling. Here's an example, right? So there's multiple different cold call scripts you can use. You first want to start off with an opener. So you can say, "Hey Tia, how you doing?" That's the how you doing opener. You can go with a permission based opener like, "Hey Tia, this is Azuri. Did I catch you at a good time?" Or "This is Azuri Henderson. Did I catch you at a good time?" My opener, the "Can you help me" opener is my favorite. So it's going to sound like this: "Hey Tia, this is Azuri Henderson. You weren't expecting my call. This is actually the first time I reached you. I was hoping you could help me out for a brief moment." So when you say help me out, people cognitively they have a psychological receptivity that's gonna resonate with them higher than anything else, even than I love you is actually I said that wrong. I was thinking of people's name. So that's all. So how to win friends and influence people, that's a part of it. If you say people's name, that resonates
Yeah,
even
say
more
their
than I
name,
love you or
it
anything
catches their
else.
attention. Yeah.
But what I was trying to say was the "Can you help me?" People naturally want to help people. So if you have that opener of, "Oh, this is Azuri Henderson. You weren't expecting my call. This is actually the first time I reached you. I was hoping you could help me out for a brief moment." So that's my favorite cold call opener. When people hear
Hmm.
"help me out," they're more likely. Also, if you say, "Oh, would you be open minded to getting a tour of technology?" If you get a room of people and you ask who's open minded in the room, everybody gonna raise their hand or a high volume. So if you can
So true.
incorporate that open minded into your questions as well, that's a huge advantage as well.
Yes, and those are some great great pointers. I love that. So yeah, I think we're good to wrap up now. I feel like we gave you guys a really good picture of what it's like to be in tech sales. First of all, what is tech sales? What it's like to be in tech sales, the money that you can make, the benefits that you can get out of it, the expectation, the books you can read. What else can we add and kind of just wrap this up?
100%. So I believe in all of y'all. Y'all got this. If you're thinking about getting to tech sales and you watch this video, 9 times out of 10 is meant for you. So I need you to reach out to me. I'm gonna have my LinkedIn, Tia's LinkedIn. We will get you right. Everything from start to finish. We got a completely comprehensive game plan that is structured out. Everything from optimizing your resume and your LinkedIn to self-sourcing the interviews to performing in them, all the tools and resources y'all need. So I believe in you. Remember, the inputs gonna lead to the outputs. You got to do the job to get the job. So reach out to us, and we will get y'all the help y'all need. And let's get it.
All right, y'all.
Okay, and let's see. Okay, cool.